Hey guys, welcome back. And, one of the biggest criticisms that I am getting on the Supra opinion video that I've been making, I've made two of them so far, and the biggest and the common thing that people are saying is, you're an idiot, Eric. You didn't do any research. This is clearly a joint venture between Toyota and BMW, and therefore it is not a rebadged BMW. And that is the comments that I'm getting. And what I am here to tell you is, yes, it is. And even if you go to the source material where everybody keeps pointing to, which happens to be Albin's video here, and it's a good video. Go check it out. It's a good video. I think it's informative, and I think it is. But if you read between the lines of what he is saying, it is not a true copy, one for one, like many of the examples that he's giving, like a co-partnership with the 86 and the BRZ, or he gives the example, which I think is, it's a fair example of, the Geos and Toyota's examples. That's fine. Like the Pontiac Vibe, was a direct ripoff of the Matrix, which is fine. Those are examples in which they work pretty well together. But if you listen to what he actually says, yes, the running gear and transmission are all the same. Toyota did not develop crap. Okay? And here's the frustration that I'm getting at. Okay, I understand there are fanboys out there. No matter what you're going to say, they're going to say, "Oh, Eric, you just are hating on the Supra." No, I'm not hating on the Supra. I want a Supra. I want a good one. But to be honest with you, there's a reason they did it, and it's in the video. The evidence is all right there if you just look. Okay, guys? So just actually listen to what he actually says. Okay, so they got together and they had this idea and they're going to make this sports car together. Cool. But what they said, and if you listen very carefully, what he says is they're going to make it in very low numbers. So if you're going to make something in low numbers, it's going to be very easy to take something that you've already got off the shelf, kind of retweak it a little bit, and go ahead and sell it as something else. And if you look, they're right next to each other. Ugh! Okay, so here's the other thing. If Toyota really did design the motor, which they didn't, okay, they didn't have a hand in designing. They had a hand in reliability testing, okay, going so far as to look at individual nuts and bolts. Fine. That's not designing of the motor. If you listen to the video, he already says BMW already had a new variant in the works and that they just needed it testing. Listen to what he actually says. Toyota does not actually design anything. They sent back suggestions to BMW to say, look, you should probably, do this or that, or use a different grade of bolt, or a different longer one, or a different pitch one, or something to whatever, okay? Those are suggestions that BMW could or could not take. That's not development, okay? Development means designing something. They didn't design anything. Basically, what they did is they took a bunch of parts and they stress tested them, and then they shot back the results to BMW. That's it. That's all they did. That's not designing. Okay? Now, they did make a few interesting points in here that I thought was interesting if you also read between the lines here, is to say there's a bunch of antitrust laws in Germany that says you can't, rebadge this. And okay, so I guess straight up rebadging, fine, maybe a little bit of a hyperbole there. If you look at the car as a whole, so if you look at the engine platform and the transmission and all the suspension, it's all BMW, all of it. Okay, even in this video, if you watch it, straight up tells you it is the exact same design and parts off of BMW's lineup to create the platform, the suspension, the engine, and the transmission. I understand the transmission is shared with other things. That happens a lot, okay? Look at the T56. The T56, it was a bunch of Fords, it was in a bunch of Dodges, it was in Chevys. That particular one was in a lot of different things. So, I mean, if you actually listen to this guy's video, he will tell you it's BMW. The running gear The suspension and everything is actually BMW parts. They're off-the-shelf parts. He even says the word off-the-shelf, okay? The other thing is if you look at where they're designing and building the chassis, they're built in Germany, and he says out loud, because they have direct access to BMW's parts and engineering, okay? Especially for the engine. So for those of you who keep saying, oh, but it was designed with collaboration. That is not design, okay? That is stress testing. That is a big difference. Quality assurance and designing something is not the same thing. If I were to work at a factory and so made widgets and they gave me the widget and I found the widget and I looked at it and I went ding, 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 and it broke and I said, oh, here, it broke, and I gave it back to them, I didn't design crap, okay? All I did was, hey, it broke, and I gave it back to them to make it again, okay? Now, here's going to be the thing. Here's going to be the test. And what's going to happen is if this really isn't straight up BMW engine, okay? When it comes out, here's what I want you to do. And again, feel free. Send me a message. I don't care. Go ahead. How many part numbers in that engine are unique, or are they existing BMW part numbers? There's your test. If you really think that Toyota put a lot of time and effort into, quote, designing the motor, which they didn't, they designed the exterior, fine. But essentially, you're sticking a Toyota body, boom, right on top of the BMW platform. And this is, which they keep showing this video of a rolling chassis and then grafting the Supra body on top of it. Again, guys, watch the video, okay? But here's the test. When the car comes out, how many parts are BMW part numbers that you can get off of BMW shelf? Take it apart. Timing chain, valves, head casting numbers, that sort of thing, and see how many of them are unique part numbers. And I can guarantee you, this is my grand prediction, 95% of all the parts are going to be off-the-shelf BMW ones. Okay? Here's the deal. Why in God's green earth would they spend all this money to redesign a whole new engine, all new parts, all new this, all new everything for such a low production number car? That's not even gonna be, the be-all and end-all to their cars. Dodge did it, but they did it with the Viper, and the Viper was an ultra-fast car out of the box. That was the idea. They were gonna lose money at $120,000 or whatever they sold them for at the time because they knew it was their flagship vehicle. So they knew that they were gonna lose money. But it was going to attract people to the brand, and it was going to get them there. This is not that. This is not what we're talking about. So yes, right here, we're taking apart an engine, and they're not known for reliability. It's basically what the video says. And look, he makes good points. I'm not against what he's saying. He's essentially not really saying he's saying in this video that it is not a complete 100% rebadge. Yeah, okay, I'll concede that point. It's not a one-for-one rebadge because the body is different and the interior is going to be a little different too. But the entire running gear is the same. And if they say, and actually if you listen to the video, they wanted to make more power, they didn't. They actually made 50 horsepower less, okay? And what you're seeing here is proof in the video. The one everybody points to and says, Eric, you're an idiot. They didn't design anything. All they did was they took it apart and said, look, this is okay, this isn't okay. That's not designing anything, okay? So there's no point in putting that much time, effort, and everything into a build in a vehicle that is going to be of limited numbers and going to give you an extremely low return on investment. So the investment's going to be fairly minimal because it's already existing BMW stuff, okay? So it doesn't make any financial sense. And the Japanese companies work this way. This is how they work. They are very numbers-driven sort of thing. They're not Dodge. Dodge, for whatever reason, I don't know what their deal is. shoves a giant engine and everything, and then the rest of it be damned. I don't know what their deal is. But, I mean, even the transaxle here, the rear end gear, and this is all BMW, all of it. Watch the video again. He even says so. And here we go. Magnestyr. Okay, this is the group that is making the actual chassis in Germany because he says they're close to their plant. Off-the-shelf parts. Listen to the video. He actually says they have access to all of BMW's off-the-shelf available parts. What did they actually design? Okay, define the word design, because design and testing are two vastly separate things. And I know I'm going to get some hate mail on this, and you can downvote this, fine, whatever. But you need to understand that to cut costs, you don't redesign a whole brand new part. That is not economical sense, and especially for what they're selling these things for, they're probably not going to be making a whole ton of money off them because of the limited production number runs. Again, here's the test. Take one apart as soon as we get it, okay? As soon as it shows up. Look at the part number, and if it's an already existing part number or shares parts with another existing car, engine, running gear, transmission, rear end, hubs, etc., then what you have is it's not rebadged, okay? And I'm not going to say redesigned because it's not redesigned, okay? It's not, okay? What you've got is essentially a BMW engine with some input from Toyota, but not redesigned. It's not redesigned. Stop it. Just stop it. It is a BMW motor through and through with some Q&A done by Toyota. That's essentially what it is. So stop saying it's redesigned, okay? Anyway, go ahead, put your comments in there. I know I'm going to get probably lit up, which is fine. But look, if those of you who are, quote, the fanboys, and if you are one of those folks, that's fine. I understand. I'm a fanboy for certain things too. There are certain things that are just really, really near and dear and close to my heart, and it just sucks when something doesn't work out the way I want. I have to separate myself from that fanboyism, my own personal fanboyism, because I have it. I do. I really do. I have my own personal fanboyism, and if you watch my channel, you can probably figure it out. It's not that super hard. But oftentimes, I have to remove myself and my emotional attachment to that thing or that fanboyism to recognize that there is something either not right, wrong, or they screwed up in some fashion or form, okay? So feel free. Go ahead. Here's what I'm going to suggest. Try and remove yourself from the fanboyism if you have it, if that's your thing, and try to remove yourself from it. Look at it from another perspective from a little bit, rather than kind of just firing off and kind of losing your business. And, see it for what it actually is, okay? See it for its limitations, see it for its actual value, and then maybe, comment before that. How about that? So anyway, it's my suggestion. Will the Supra be a fun car? Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not going to be a terrible car. It's just not worth $56,000 to get a BMW M4 complete running gear and a car that I don't think is all that good looking. So anyway, feel free in the comments, write it down. I don't know. Let your fanboyism fly if that's what you want to do. But anyway, I'm out. See ya.